in uptown New York.
Yeah, and so far it appears that he will be staying at Bellevue and won't be transported, that we know of, to one of the other hospitals that is best equipped to deal with this.
I personally, up until 2 weeks ago, if I ran across somebody with Ebola, I would not know how to act. But a doctor treating Ebola patients and doing extraordinary work with Doctors Without Borders in West Africa, in Guinea, I cannot believe he didn't take more protocols, quarantine himself, just to make sure he didn't contract it.
And that may be the most disturbing thing that we're waking up to this morning. Why wasn't there a CDC protocol in place for a physician and infectious to dispose of personal protective equipment? And so we have no understanding or belief that they came into personal contact with the patient. But they were in the apartment, and they were in a situation that required them to wear those suits and then to take them off and put them in a public garbage can. It's a prescription for disaster and a horror show.
Right, and in the apartment when the patient was exhibiting symptoms, which is when it is the most contagious.
So I put on the television at 4:30 in the morning. There's Julie Banderas.
That's
open.
the Friday of your life.
It was good.
David Bryan, no brown nosing on a Friday.
Get your confidence up a little bit. Okay, fine.
You know how I love you.
Right.
Anyway.
I want to meet those dogs.
Good to see you, Julie. Thank you.
Heroic dogs.
It's called illegal Pete's, but now people are calling
what they're going through right now. And what if you're a cop today, getting up, putting on that uniform, and wondering if you're going to be next?
And a bulletin put out yesterday to the NYPD to be especially vigilant. Not saying it was terrorism, but pointing out to police officers that they need to be especially vigilant in these times.
Well, logic tells you it's terrorism, especially when we show you what his social media page looked like. But now to the other huge story. The New York City doctor diagnosed with Ebola after returning from West Africa.
Good record, isn't it? Now the hospital has not been completely restored just yet, so visitors can actually see how it was when it closed back in 1954. Tickets for the 90-minute tours, which is run by Save Ellis Island and the National Park Service, are $25. Proceeds go to preservation and restoration of the complex. For more information, head to our website, foxandfriends.com.
Listen, see, I've never been there, but I thought they rebuilt it. Is there a section that is rebuilt where you can look up your ancestors and everything?
Yeah, that's the part that's been open for a while, you know, where you get on the Statue of Liberty cruise at Battery Park and get on. But this is new, and it's a limited run at the moment, but they're hoping to expand it to more days and
That's the
hours.
receiving center, and you wonder, the world has become so small. Is there going to be a time in America that we'll need to have a new Ellis Island, especially when we see the expense and the dislocation that Ebola is causing?
How many times have we heard the words Ellis Island over the last couple of weeks since Ebola has really been in the headlines? Obviously, Ebola wasn't even discovered until the 70s, and this closed in the 50s. But the way that they handled the other communicable diseases like tuberculosis, incredible.
We learned a lot. That was a great report.
All right, Julie Banderas is here to tell us even more, because there's more than two huge stories. There's other major stories happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So much for negotiation.
Tacos for dessert. Choco taco? You do those too?
Choco taco. No, I've never had a choco taco.
Brian is really good at, he makes those,
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's a great Mexican chef.
And by the way, on James O'Keefe, he did so good undercover, they actually offered him a job on that. I watched that video. He accepted it, but he actually didn't take it.
He couldn't take it,
All right, if you watch Maria...
Pac-Man. I love that.
That's right.
42 minutes after the hour. Coming up, forget whistle while you work. Why not? Try this.
Anna, thank you.
And we asked Bruce Bailey to come on, and he hasn't come on yet.
He would not, but he has an open invitation. More Fox and Friends coming up with some very interesting news.
Yeah, we're going to look at that North Carolina grade scandal. You're not going to believe this. Remember with the Frontier Airlines, they had to find out who was sitting next to the nurse, and then where did that plane go afterwards? Do they have to find out who was bowling in the same place? Do they have to find out who was driving him in that sedan car?
Health Department of New York City and the CDC will be doing contact tracing. And you see what it caused in terms of the motorcade. There was a special motorcade with a special fire department ambulance that was caused to transport him into Bellevue Hospital. And his girlfriend now also in isolation.
The unfortunate thing about this is just how big New York City is, and the way that we live here with 8 million other people around us is on top of each other. In public transportation, we don't get in our cars and drive on our merry way. We're coughing and sneezing and everything on each other. Fortunately, though, it's not contagious when you're not exhibiting symptoms. At least
but if you're saying, well, I was on the A, I was on the L, I was on the one subway, I walked on the high wire, whatever it was. He did a lot of walking.
The High Line.
The High Line. Did I say say the high wire? Yeah, I'm a Willenda.
The high wire. It's a big tourist spot in Chelsea.
He was in the circus.
Circus act.
I just don't know who's going to get called in. We'll find out. I know that Julie Banderas is thrilled to be called in this morning.
Yes,
right?
I really was, especially to wake up to your face. But the Uber car driver, by the way,
it's like they drag it out.
I loved it. I think women really loved it because we all thought the song was about us.
You know what we have we all wished it was about us.
It is about you two. Absolutely.
About
James, but no, very often when we have bands on for the summer concert series, the artist will say, "I will never sing a song that I am not prepared to sing for the rest of my life." In case that happens, if you're a one-hit wonder, you gotta sing it until the day you die.
Yeah, Sting is to die. No Roxanne. Good luck. All right, let's talk about something else. There was audio that came out. We heard about 2 weeks ago about a brawl that happened with the Palins, and we just thought, wow, that's odd. You know, a whole family had a fight with another group, and we didn't know anything.
Happens.
And then this audio emerged of what Bristol Palin went through, and essentially,
her. So her using this foul language was just repeating what somebody else said. But let's take a look at what CNN did with this. Carol Costello, who has now apologized for doing this, reacted this way. It's gonna rile you.
And it's incredible to think that a CNN anchor in kind of a sadistic way would revel in the misfortune of a 24-year-old woman, a mother, who was allegedly beaten and then cursed out, and then to say this is the best sound that I've heard in a long time. Another horrible break for that network, which is kind of at this point flailing there, was absolutely frightening.
Yeah,
I mean, to revel in someone's pain and hurt and think it's funny. I know there's been an apology, but what an astounding lack of judgment. Yeah,
and with Bristol being a young woman and then being worried about her kindergarten-age child.
Who watched it?
Come on. And just to lap it up, like this is just the best thing that you have ever seen. Let's just take any opportunity we have to stick a knife in the back of Sarah Palin. Come on.
All right, tell us what you think about that. You can tweet us at Facebook on our Friends page, and we'll start reading some of those responses. Meanwhile, coming up, hundreds of illegals on the voter rolls. Can we thank the Obama administration for that? We'll find out the answer next.
In this story, hey everybody, well they may look cute, but this message is anything but. Good morning, friends. Some quick headlines from around the world.
Is back in action this weekend. Keanu Reeves returns to the big screen in John Wick, and Michael Keaton soars to new heights, we hear, in Birdman. Here with his reviews, Fox News contributor.
Details about our top story this morning. A man armed with a hatchet attacks New York City police officers. So, is it a terror attack? Chris Wallace with what the White House is saying about it this morning.
And this undercover video will leave you speechless.
Right now, the White House has still not commented on the story. However, you just heard Geraldo say this is clearly a terror attack. Let's bring in Chris Wallace now. I'm a little afraid to toss to Julie Banderas. It didn't go well last time.
No, I really
No, go ahead.
think
You
it's
two.
going
Go ahead.
great.
Go ahead.
Hi, Julie. How are you? You happy to see Brian?
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks,
Irene
Julie.
says this.
Yeah, she's in New Jersey. She's
Right, keep them coming. We'll keep reading them and responding. Meanwhile, at 19 minutes before the top of the hour.
You think you can't afford to live here? Well, think quarter till the top of the hour. There's great news this morning if you're in the market for a new house. Mortgage rates are now dropping back below 4%. Here to give us an inside 47 minutes after the hour, it could have a huge impact in Washington. Karl Rove with why. We'll join Tucker and Clayton and me tomorrow for Fox and Friends Weekend. We have Governor Mike Huckabee.
Right.
Also, store receipts and other things you handle each day, and could they be harmful to your health? Also, pumpkin carving with power tools.
Finally, if you're in a rush. You know, I lied. Karl Rove did stick around. I did say goodbye, but
yeah, but I saw her kick you. Is there something going on?
No,
here?
no, not.
We're not in a fight, everyone.